Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming here for my presentation today. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how to access financial support while living with chronic illness. So as Rose said, I am Rose-elle and I am a work and income advocate here at MECFS Canterbury. So I'm not employed by Work and Income, I am employed by MECFS Canterbury. So I wanted to take the time to talk to you all about my role as a work and income advocate and what that means. We're also going to go a little bit over some different financial support that is available to you all through work and income, and also how to actually apply for this support. So before we begin, sorry, just a little bit of technical. There we go. So before we begin, I did want to let you all know that I'll be going over quite a lot of information, and it will be a little bit difficult to remember it all, but as Rose said, that this presentation is being recorded, and you will all have access to this presentation, these slideshows afterwards, so there's no need to worry about that. And again, if you have questions during the presentation, I really encourage you to write those down, and we will be able to talk about them towards the end. So some of you may be wondering what my role as a work and income advocate actually means and what it consists of. So a work and income advocate, we are here to provide those who have MECFS and their families with the information and assist them to access available financial support from work and income. So there's a range of different ways that we can provide support to you and your family. So an example would be to help you and your family find out what you're eligible for and what financial assistance you can actually access. There's a range of different benefits that you can get, and so we can help you to navigate these and figure out what you can actually apply for. We can also assist with filling out any paperwork. So if you've ever dealt with work and income before, you know that there is a lot of questions to answer and a lot of paperwork to fill out, so we can support you during this process. Another example of support would be to help you with gathering information. So again, work and income do ask a lot of questions, and we can help you get that information to see what to do into your application. Some work and income benefits do require a medical certificate, and so our team can help support you get your GP on board with providing a medical certificate for your application. Sometimes you might run into some issues with work and income or complications in the application process. These are totally okay. Our team are here to help you through those issues, and we can try to find a good solution for you and your family. So this might mean that we will engage in some advocacy, so we can advocate to work and income on your behalf or with you to get these issues sorted out and get you the financial assistance that you need. So our advocacy team really want to deliver everyone with the best possible service that we can, and so we can be really flexible with the communication styles we use to provide support. So if you just let us know what type of communication style you prefer, that would be great. We can do text messages, emails, phone calls, Zoom calls like this presentation, and sometimes even visits. So if you live in the Canterbury and West Coast regions, the referral process, if you are not yet a member of MECFS Canterbury, is that you will need to fill out a membership form. So it's online and it is free. And you will need to just tick the box that talks about wanting support with work and income. However, if you are already a member of MECFS Canterbury, all you need to do is email us at info@mecfscanterbury.nz and just leave a brief note on the type of assistance you're needing. You don't really need to go into depth because our work and income team will be in touch with you as soon as we can, and we'll be able to talk about the circumstances. So now that you hopefully know a little bit more about our advocacy team and the type of support we provide, I would like to spend some time talking about the different types of benefits and payments that are provided through work and income. So work and income do provide a diverse range of different payments. I'm not going to be going through them all today, or we would be here for a very long time. But I will be going over some main ones. However, if you feel like you don't fit the criteria for these ones, there's no need to worry, as there are plenty more. So you can get in touch with our advocacy team, and we can figure out if there are any other financial support that's available for you. If you would like to check your own eligibility for the different financial support provided by Work and Income, Work and Income do provide this really useful tool called Check What You Might Get. It takes about 5 minutes to complete this online tool, and it will ask you a range of questions such as about your age, your relationship status, your income and your expenses, and your health conditions. Once you complete the online tool, it's really useful because it will provide you with some information on the types of assistance that you are likely to qualify for and how you're able to qualify for it. And it will also give you a list of financial support that you aren't likely to qualify for, and it will give you reasons as to why you won't be eligible for that support. So it's a really useful tool. To access this tool, you can Google search check.msd.gov.nz, or you can just type in your laptop, check what you might get work and income, and it will pop up. So yeah, I really recommend trying this tool out. It's really, really useful. I even use it sometimes in my advocacy work just to have a look at what some people might be eligible for. So the first payment that I would like to discuss with you all today is called the supported living payment. So the supported living payment is a weekly payment, and it's there to support people who are both permanently and severely restricted in their ability to work due to either an injury, a disability, or a significant health condition. And MECFS does fall under these categories. So the criteria to get the supported living payment is that you must be 16 years or older. And to show that you are permanently restricted in your ability to work, your health condition, injury, or disability must be expected to last for at least 2 years. And then again, to show the severity of your health condition, injury, or disability, you must be unable to work 15 hours or more regularly each week. So that's to show that you're both permanently and severely restricted in your ability to work. You must also be able to confirm that you are severely and permanently restricted in your ability to work. In the next slide, I'm going to go into more depth of how you can confirm this with work and income. And you must also be a New Zealand citizen or permanent resident. The supported living payment is income, does have an income limit, which means if you earn over a certain amount, it will impact the benefit that you get. So the income limit for the supported living payment is $160 weekly. If you were to earn between $160 and $250 weekly, then your benefit will be reduced by 30 cents for every $1 that you earn over $160. If you were to earn over $250 in income weekly, the benefit will be reduced by 70 cents for every $1 over that $250 limit. The supported living payment applications, they're reviewed by a regional health advisor. I've spoken to a regional health advisor on a few occasions, and they've said that the likelihood for someone with MECFS to be accepted onto a supported living payment would be that they've been diagnosed for 2 or more years, However, I still strongly recommend everyone to apply for this payment, as I've had many successes with getting people with me onto this payment so far. So now we are moving on to how to confirm your circumstances when you are applying for supported living payment. So this part is really important for the success of your application. So you will need to provide a medical certificate from your GP or health practitioner. And lucky for you all, I know exactly what needs to be going on to a medical certificate to make it more likely that you'll be accepted onto this payment. So on the medical certificate, your doctor will need to explicitly state the diagnosis of your health condition, your disability or your injury, and also the impact of your health condition, injury or disability on your ability to work. So I would really recommend that your doctor use words such as that you're severely impacted in your ability to work and that you would not manage any more than 16 hours of work a week. I only recommend this because this is the language that Working Income use when talking about criteria for this payment. And the final thing that your medical certificate will have to talk about is the how long your health condition, injury, or disability will last. So show its permanence. So I would recommend you use words such as permanently restricted and that your condition is likely to last more than 2 years. So if you get a medical certificate that states down these 3 points, then you have a really solid application for the supported living payment. If you'd like some more information about the supported living payment, you can head on to the Working Income website and just type in supported living payment and it will come up. The supported living payment is also available for carers. So if you are caring for a person who needs full-time care at home due to their health condition, injury, or disability, then you can get a weekly supported living payment. So the criteria for this payment is that if you do not have a dependent child, you need to be 18 years or older. But if you do have a dependent child, you need to be 20 years or older. The person that you are caring for can be your own child, can be a family member, but it cannot be your partner or spouse. It can also be a member of your community. So the person you're caring for must need full-time care. If they weren't receiving it, they would otherwise need to receive hospital or residential level care. And to prove your circumstances as a carer, you would need a medical certificate that clearly states the person you are taking care of needs full-time care, and without it, that person would be admitted to the hospital or equivalent care services. So providing full-time care doesn't mean that you need to be caring for this person 24/7. It just means that you need to be available to provide that person care 24/7. You can access more information again about this payment on the Working Income website. The next payment I'd like to discuss is called the Jobseeker Support. The Jobseeker Support is a temporary benefit that can be paid up to 52 weeks, and it's there to support people who are looking for work or are in training for work or are currently unable to work due to their health condition, injury, or disability. So the criteria for the Jobseeker Support payment is that you need to be 18 years or older without dependent children, or if you do have dependent children, you need to be 20 years or older. So there are 4 different circumstances in which you could be eligible for the Jobseeker Support. The first circumstance is that you are not in full-time employment, but you are available and actively seeking employment. So the job seeker support in this circumstance is there to support you until you can secure full-time employment. The second circumstance is that you are temporarily exempt from your work obligations. The third circumstance is that you are limited in your ability to seek, undertake, or be available for full-time work due to your health condition, injury, or disability. And the last circumstance to be receiving your job seeker support is that you are currently employed, but you currently cannot work or are working less hours because of your health condition, injury, or disability. So the job seeker support can be provided for a range of different circumstances. If you were to need the job seeker support for longer than 52 weeks, all you have to do is reapply for it. Again, if you want some more information on the job seeker support, there is information on the Work and Income website. So those last two circumstances that I discussed, so that you are either limited in your ability to speak, undertake, or be available for full-time employment because of your health condition, or that you are employed but just working less and you're limited in your ability to work, would be called a job seeker support with medical deferral. So to get the job seeker support on grounds of your health condition, injury, or disability, you need to meet medical qualifications. So those two circumstances that I discussed just before, and you would also need to provide a medical certificate from your GP or health practitioner. So the job seeker support is a really good option if you are declined for the supported living payment. Sometimes supported living payment can be declined on grounds that you haven't had a diagnosis for long enough. So then you could go on the job seeker with medical deferral until you're at a diagnosis for long enough to suit work and income's requirements. So it's nice that there is another option. So the information that is needed on your medical certificate would be your diagnosis of your health condition, the impact on your condition on your ability to work, so whether or not you can work at least 15 hours per week, and also how long you're going to need off from seeking employment, and any other relevant information to support your application. So that is the job seeker support. The next payment I'd like to discuss is called the Disability Allowance. So the Disability Allowance is a weekly payment, and it's there to assist people who have regular and ongoing costs because of their disability or health condition. It is reviewed every 12 months. So the criteria to get the Disability Allowance is to meet an income test. So if you earn a certain amount, you may not be eligible for this payment. I'll go into what those income limits are soon. You'll also need to have medical or health-related needs that are likely to last at least 6 months. You also need to be having regular and ongoing costs because of your disability or your health-related needs that are not fully covered by another agency, so they can't be one-off costs, they need to be regular costs. You also need to be a New Zealand citizen or permanent resident. Some examples of regular and ongoing costs you could apply for to get support from the Disability Allowance would be gardening and exterior window cleaning, but it doesn't cover internal house cleaning or housework. Health appointments such as counselling, doctors, physiotherapy, the chiropractor, counselling is a really good option as well. They do provide financial assistance for attend counselling appointments. Also, heating costs, if you have increased cost of heating due to your health condition, then they can cover that as well. If you have any special foods, supplements, or unfunded prescription medications, they can help financially support you towards these as well. So to confirm your circumstances for the disability allowance, you will need to get a disability allowance certificate from your GP. On this disability allowance certificate, it will need to state that your disability or health-related needs are likely to continue for more than 6 months. And also need to state that you require ongoing support and that you require to consistently see your health practitioner or GP. It also needs to state that the additional costs, so if you are applying to get assistance with your heating costs or prescription fees, that these are a direct result of your disability. So Working Income will be asking if you didn't have this disability or health-related needs, these costs still exist. So you have to prove that these costs are a direct result of your health-related needs. You also need to show that the costs are ongoing and that the goods or services costs that you're applying for are needed and that they are of value to you. Alongside your disability allowance certificate, you must also provide some receipts, quotes, or estimates of the costs. That's just to further prove that these are regular and ongoing costs you are having to pay. So the income limit I discussed a little bit earlier. So the disability allowance is income free. So if you are single and 18 years or older, if you were earning more than $786.69 a week, you would not be eligible for the disability allowance. For a sole parent of one dependent child, that is $880.73. If you are married, it is $1,171.42 weekly, and a sole parent of 2 or more dependent children is $927.94 weekly. So if you should earn over the income limit, you would not be eligible for the disability allowance. If you would like to research some more about the disability allowance, again, it will be on the Work and Income website. The next payment I'd like to discuss is the Accommodation Supplement. So the Accommodation Supplement provides some assistance towards your accommodation costs, such as your rent, you're paying a board, or your mortgage payments. So how much you get from the Accommodation Supplement is calculated based on your income, the area that you live in, your assets, and how much you're paying for accommodation. You don't need to be a beneficiary to be receiving this payment. So if you don't have a benefit, you can still get the Accommodation Supplement. So the criteria to get the Accommodation Supplement would be that you meet a cash asset test. So the cash asset limit for a single person is $8,100, and for a married couple it is $16,200 in cash assets. You also need to meet an income test. You also need to be having accommodation costs, so either paying a board, a rent, or mortgage payment. And you need to be 16 years or older, and a New Zealand citizen or resident. If you are living in a social housing provided house or boarding for someone who lives in a social housing home, you'll be unable to get the Accommodation Supplement. And you'll also need to be proving your accommodation costs. So if you are a boarder, this will just be a letter from the person you pay your board to that states how much you pay. If you are a homeowner, you'd need to provide your mortgage agreement, your home insurance policy, and any receipts from maintenance or repairs over the last 12 months. And if you're a renter, you just need to provide your tenancy agreement. So, yeah, again, if you'd like to access more information, is on the Working Income website. So the income limits that I discussed earlier, the Accommodation Supplement is income tested. So this is based on whereabouts you live, as different areas we pay different costs than rent and mortgage. So the income limit for the Canterbury region, if you're 16 years or older and single, if you are earning more than $1,063, then you will be ineligible for this payment. If you're married without dependent children, the income limit is $1,601 weekly. And if you're married with dependent children, it is $1,907. A sole parent with one dependent child is $1,456 weekly. And the sole parent with 2 or more dependent children is $1,716 weekly. So if you earn more than these, you wouldn't be able to get the accommodation supplement, but if you earn more, then yeah. And the income limit's for the West Coast. For single and 16 years or older is $963 weekly. If you are married without dependent children, it is $1,401. If you are married with dependent children, it is $1,667 weekly. A sole parent of one dependent child is $1,256 income limit. And finally, a sole parent of 2 or more dependent children is $1,476 weekly. So just remember that the accommodation supplement isn't just for beneficiaries, so you don't need to be receiving any other support from working income to be eligible for this payment. The next payment I'd like to discuss is temporary additional support. So this is a payment for those who are in extreme financial hardship and don't have enough money to cover their essential living costs. So to get the temporary additional support, you need to be 16 years or older. You also need to fill out the temporary additional support application. There is a cash asset test on this as well. And you need to be having essential living costs that you cannot afford to pay for. You also need to show that there is no surplus in your income. So after you have paid for as many expenses and living costs as you cannot have any income left over to be received in this payment. You also need to show that you are taking necessary steps to receive other financial assistance. And you need to be taking reasonable steps to reduce your costs or increase your income. So this could mean with an income, we'll have a look at your finances and they may suggest to access a budgeting service that they will help support you through. You also need to be a New Zealand citizen or permanent resident. So the temporary additional support can only be paid for a maximum of 13 weeks. However, if you do need it for longer than 13 weeks, you just need to reapply. So the next few payments I'm going to discuss a lot more briefly. However, if you'd like to know more, you can search them up on the Working Income website or be referred to our Working Income Advocacy team, and we can help you dive into them a little bit more. So the Special Needs Grant is for one-off costs that are essential and unavoidable, and you do not need to be paying this back. So some examples that this grant can cover, things such as food, feeding, driver's license, or ambulance fees, medical treatments, and etc. So when you are applying for the Special Needs Grant, Working Income will have a look at your circumstances and they'll discuss with you whether or not you knew that this cost was going to come up. They'll also ask if you could have covered this cost yourself. They'll have a look at your finances, and they'll also see how the special needs grant would help you with your circumstances. The special needs grant is also income and asset tested. There's also the recoverable assistance payment. So this is again for one-off costs that are essential and unavoidable. So this is for non-beneficiaries, so those who are not receiving a benefit, and that does need to be paid back. So you will organise a rate to be paying this weekly, and it will be automatically deducted. And it can be used for similar costs such as clothing, car repairs, school costs. It can also be used for your bond for rental properties or rental advances. So the recoverable assistance payment is paid directly to the supplier of your goods or service, or it will be put on your green card. So the green payment card is just a card that you can only use at particular services. StudyLink also offers something called the limited full-time status payment. So this is available for people who have chronic illness and are unable to study full-time. So this provides those people with a full student allowance, like you would be getting if you're enrolled full-time, but enrolled as a part-time student. So only some tertiary level courses can accommodate to this payment. And StudyLink will consider the payment based on the credits you'll be earning in the course and the time commitment. There is an expectation that you have to study for more than half of a full-time course, but your circumstances will be discussed more in depth with StudyLink. If you would like more information on this payment, I don't know a whole lot about it, but if you were to be referred to our working income advocacy team, I am more than happy to research with you and explore this payment more. You can also visit the StudyLink website to look at it some more, or talk with your disability advisor at the university you attend or your education provider, and they'll know what's about it. So now that we've gone over the different financial supports, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to actually apply for financial assistance with work and income. So your first step would be to get a client number. So a client number is a 9-digit number that work and income use to identify you. It's different to your IID number. So it will be on the front of any letters that you've gotten from work and income or the Ministry of Social Development or even StudyLink. It's also on the front of your community services card or the back of your Super Gold card. But if you can't find your client number or you don't think you have one, that's all right. Work and Income have an easy form that you can fill out to request a new client number. So you'll just need to provide them with your full name, your date of birth, your address, your IID number, and a New Zealand phone or email address. So to find this form, you can just Google search request the client number Work and Income or follow the link on this presentation. Work and Income try to be in touch within 1 to 2 working days with your client number. So once you have a client number, you can create what's called a MyMSD account. So MyMSD is an online portal that Work and Income use to communicate with you. So you can use it to apply for financial assistance, to manage your work and income appointments, and to declare to Work and Income if there's any changes in your circumstances. So if you're working more or you're having to pay more rent, you can declare this on the MyMSD website rather than being on hold to Work and Income for hours at a time. You can also check your upcoming payments and any debt that you might have with Work and Income. So to register for MyMSD is quite simple. You can register it by Google searching register through MyMSD or pressing on this link. You have a website that will look like this in the corner, and from there you'll be asked to put in your client number, and you'll be asked a range of questions to fill out, such as your date of birth. So once you've actually set up your MyMSD account, you are finally ready. It's a long process, finally ready to start applying for financial assistance with work and income. So to apply for financial assistance through MyMSD, there'll be an apply option that looks like this in the corner. And you'll press that, and then you can begin your application process. So this is the part that gets really long. It's a really long application process. It can take between 30 to 60 minutes, even longer to complete. However, you can save and exit the application at any time. You just need to complete it within 20 days. You'll need information such as your bank account number, your inland revenue number, if you have children, their inland revenue numbers, your income details, etc. They do ask a lot of questions on this application, and that's because work and income are testing your eligibility for every single one of their benefits or payments. So once you fill out your application on MyMSD, work and income will give you a list of next steps, and these will need to be completed within 20 days. You might be logged out once you submit your application. Just log back into your MyMSD, and these next steps should appear within a few minutes. So they might ask you to submit evidence of your costs. You might be asked to submit your power bills, your tenancy agreement or mortgage agreement, proof of your extra costs that we discussed with your Disability Allowance application. So you might need to provide them with some receipts. You also might need to prove your bank account number or your IID number. You also might need to provide a medical certificate or a disability certificate. And finally, they might even ask you to book an appointment to go and speak with work and income themselves. So once you've completed the next steps that work and income have set out for you, they will be in touch. They phone you pretty quickly. But they can also take a while. So usually it's a maximum of 14 days before they will get in contact with you. So if you run into any issues throughout any of this process, it's quite a long process and there can be complications on the way. I really encourage you to get in touch with our work and income advocacy team. So you can get referred by emailing info@MECFS Also, you can, if you disagree with the decision work and income has made, so if they decline a payment that you believe you are eligible for, you can request that they review the decision. You just have to make this request within 90 days and our team can support you with this. For more information, just look on the work and income website. If you type in review of decisions, some more information will pop up on how to do that. So our last little section that we're going to go over today is some tips to make it easier for you to get support from work and income. So the first tip would be, I understand that when you have MECFS, it can be quite difficult to communicate via the phone sometimes. Luckily, work and income do provide an option for you to communicate via email instead. So I'm going to let you know how to communicate with work and income using email. So you'd need to set the email address to this email address here, so msd_div_services@msd.govt.nz. From there, in the subject bar, you have to type your full name and that 9-digit client number that we talked about. And then in the body of the email, you'll need to state your full name, your 9-digit client number, your date of birth, and your current address so they can identify you. And then you need to state that you prefer to be contacted via email because of your chronic illness and difficulties with speaking on the phone. For example, you could say, I have the chronic illness in CFS, and this impacts my cognitive abilities. I find talking on the phone very difficult, and my preferred method of communication is by email. And then after that, you state what you would want to know from working income and the type of support that you need. You can also use an MSD agent to support you while you're communicating with working income. So this person can act on your behalf in some or all of your communication with working income. So if you wanted an agent for a single event, so just one phone call or meeting with working income, you can verbally tell them that you would like an agent to speak on your behalf or a support person to be with you. If you would like someone to act on your behalf for longer, I recommend that you select this agent with care. So it could be a family member or a friend. It could be us at MECFS Canterbury or a benefit advisory service. You can still talk to MSD and act for yourself when you're able to. An agent is just there to support you and act on your behalf when you're unable to. There is an appointment of agent form, and on that form you'll have to discuss the type of tasks that you will allow your agent to do acting on your behalf. So that could be signing forms, making inquiries, or you could give them the rights to act on your behalf for everything. So there are a couple of different websites that you can get some more information from to support you. So the Working Income website does offer quite a bit of information about the benefits they offer. There's also a website, the second bullet point that goes in depth about the MSD policy. So how Working Income decide if you're eligible for a payment or not, and the policies that they have to work for. You can also get support from us here at MECFS Canterbury and our Working Income Advocacy team. If you do live outside of the West Coast and Canterbury regions, you can contact your local MECFS support organisation or search up www.cab.org.nz to find your local benefit advisory service. The Rare Disorders website also has some working income information on it as well. So these are all great resources to support you in your journey of trying to get financial support. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions now, I'll try to answer as many as I can. If we can't get to your question, that's right, we will follow it up with you. If you have any questions or concerns about your personal circumstances, I really encourage you to get in touch with our Working Income team and we can help you through that. Okay, I think there's some questions in the chat. So someone has asked if you can apply for more than one benefit or is there a financial limit? So you can be on multiple, you can be on a main benefit. So the supported living payment is a main benefit. The Jobseeker Support is a main benefit as well. And on those benefits, you can also be getting supplementary support. So that would be the Disability Allowance. So quite a few people that I've worked with have been using this, receive both the supported living payment and the Disability Allowance, as well as the Accommodation Supplement. So you can be receiving more than one type of financial support. I hope that answers your question. Someone else has asked in the chat if there's a stand down period between coming off ACC and going on to a working income benefit. I'm unsure about this one, but I don't believe that there is a stand down period. Working income can have loading periods, so they might not start your benefit until 2 weeks after you've applied, but then they will back pay you for those 2 weeks that you've been paid. So if you would like, I can investigate that a little bit further and get back to you. If you just want to privately message me on the Zoom call with your email, I can investigate that a little bit further for you.
Well, one thing that I don't think we mentioned is the disability allowance. You can receive up to $75 a week. So that can make quite a difference too. And yeah, it can cover quite a wide range of things. Yeah, so it's worth exploring that one.
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of different types of payments that it can support clients and assistance with. I only went over a few different examples, but there are tons. What's the best way to make an appointment? My login says I need one, but I can't get through. Are you meaning you're having difficulties with phoning work and income? I've had a few people lately tell me that they are having difficulties with getting on the phone to work and income. So I would suggest that you revisit that slide about emailing work and income, or you can visit your local work and income building. So there should be a local office that you can go into to book an appointment. But if you don't have a local office, then I would recommend emailing them. The start of transitioning out of a relationship, will I get work and income client number if it looks like I'm not managing any benefits? Yes. So anyone can get a work and income client number. The questions that you fill out to get a client number are very general, just your name and your ID, and so it doesn't ask any questions about your relationship. You can get a client number and you can set up a MyMSD account so that it can be all sorted for you for when your circumstances change and you're able to apply for benefits. So yeah, I would highly recommend that you get a client number and set up your MyMSD account.
Yeah, perhaps there's no more questions, but yeah, so yeah, Rose-elle, thank you so much for preparing the presentation. It's useful for today, but also for people in the future to have a look through. And yeah, you know, it can be a very stressful time trying to apply for financial assistance. And if we could, you know, reaching out for supports can really help with that. Being able to move the applications along or just knowing how to approach things. Yeah. So yeah, please make use of us. Yeah. So we'll wrap it up now unless there's any more questions. Yeah. Thank you so much, Rose-elle. And thanks to everyone for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.